Good afternoon, Teresa, Charles, Cesar, and of course Judy. I thought this would be the easiest way for me to get in touch with everybody and just talk a little bit about the quality class coming up. Thank you all for taking it on. Maybe answer a couple of questions, give you some ideas, let you know what we've kind of learned from the first four runnings, and let's just go forward from here and just set up a little bit of what we wanted to do. So, like I said, first, thank you very much for taking this on. I'm feeling a little odd here because this will be now the fifth consecutive run of the course, and therefore it's run less than a full year, and it is still new, still a work in progress. Any suggestions anybody has as we go along are going to be not only welcome but greatly appreciated, because we're learning as much about the students and their reaction to the course as we are about how we're delivering it, what we think needs to be in there that's not, what's in there that shouldn't be, all that kind of good stuff. So it's just really a great opportunity for me to learn, because this is the first time I'm not teaching it. Okay, so it's going to be new for me, and I've got four other, I think, really great people doing it. Just wanted to thank you and welcome your commentary. Okay, couple things that I think need to be mentioned, just in light of what I've just said. Keep in mind that the syllabus and the structure of the course was designed to be kind of a general guide. I am not one that thinks that there's one size fits all. And one of the big things I think about faculty, especially online faculty, sometimes don't get this opportunity to think of themselves that way. But that's what we are. We're faculty. We're the experts. We're the teachers. And I like to see that people use that freedom that I want you to have. So when you see something that's in the course that needs changing, by all means, just let me know what we want to do. That's the only thing, because I want to make sure we've got consistency across the board. Cesar pointed out earlier this week, and I'm sorry, Cesar, I didn't get back to you right away, but it's been a crazy week between my schedule on campus, and then I coach, and it's been the end of the season, conference tournaments and things like that have taken a lot of my time. For instance, you'll notice in the syllabus, I originally designed the course to have a couple of exams, and yet if you notice in the shell, I've got written assignments that replace the exams. Do what you think is necessary. If you want to replace those written assignments and go back to an exam, go right ahead. The only thing I would ask is, of course, that we let the students know what we're going to do. I chose written assignments instead of exams because I'm really trying to help people develop their writing skills. I think the writing skills I'm seeing coming through the university right now, and when I talk to colleagues from other universities, they're pretty bad. And the more opportunities we give students to write and express themselves in written form, I think we're doing them a great favor. And I'm pretty tough on their writing style. In fact, when I grade them, I let them know that form is important. And if you, well, let's just face it, if you have a great idea and you can't express it, then how do I know how great the idea was? So that's important. And I'll follow that up when it comes to writing. One of the things I think we call out, but I think students really need to know, is that of course the university follows the APA format for its standard writing. You're going to find that even now in the 200 level course, a lot of the students have not been exposed to the APA form, or not exposed to doing it well. And the only thing I would ask is that if you are going to require it and make that a major component of the grading, make sure the student understands that the essay, the report, the whatever you're asking them to write has to be in APA format, academic writing. I have on a couple of occasions deviated from that and told them to do it in a memo format or an essay format or a less formal style, but I make sure that they know that. And also the other thing that bugs me, and I'm sure it gets to you guys too, is the whole thing about attribution. Citation to me is so important. And hasn't been a big problem in this class, although we've caught a couple of people doing the cut and paste routine. So those are just some things I think you ought to be aware of. So number one, if you want to change the form of assessment, that's fine. We do not have any program level outcome assessments tied in to the course at the current time. So we really don't have to worry about messing up alignments and stuff like that. And some of you may not even be familiar with what I'm talking about, so that's fine. So just as I say, just let me or Judy know what you're going to do, so that we can kind of log what we're doing and keep track of it, because it may be a perfectly good thing to do for the next running of the course. The other thing I'd like to make people aware of, at least through the first times that I ran through the course, and now Judy has also done it once, so I think she can back me up. The discussion board has taken on the character of being the real learning place in the class, and the discussion gets pretty involved. And so just warning everybody, if it's as lively as it's been in the first 5 mods, you're going to have quite a bit of work in the discussion boards. And I don't ask anybody to deviate from their personal style. You can ask Judy and I. Judy participates actively in the discussion board far more than I do. I give my feedback through my commentary on the discussion board. Of course, I jump in here and there to kind of direct and maneuver the discussion if I have to, or maybe to draw out a point. But use your style. Be yourself. Do that. But just be aware that the discussions have gotten pretty lengthy. Therefore, leave yourself a little bit of extra time for grading. These sessions are rather full. I did create a couple of weeks where there are 2 discussion boards going, 2 graded discussions, and believe me, that's a lot of work, and I'm seriously considering whether that's worthwhile. Judy and I have already had that discussion, and so I'd really appreciate your input on that issue, okay? But just be aware that the discussion boards have been, for the most part, and not just for the most part, for the greatest part, really, really good, and we're kind of very pleased with what we're getting out of it. So that's important. As you're finding in most of the classes, this is still a 200 level. You're going to see that we have quite a range of students with quite a range of backgrounds. The online, of course, is skewed towards the adult learner. What we're finding is people have varying levels of exposure to quality. The ideas that we're going to have to stick with, we found in the first 4 mods, are pretty much conceptual. They're not really prepared to take on things of, say, statistical quality control and some of the numerical models and mathematical models. You may want to introduce them, let them know they're there, but to look for mastery in this 200 level survey course is going to be difficult. The other thing we're finding is the recognition factor of the Baldrige name and the Baldrige principles is pretty low. Because if you look at our average online student, well, the average age of our online student here at Post is about 37 years. Guess what? They don't remember Mac Baldrige at all. Have no idea who he was and what the whole connotation of the Baldrige name. Unlike some of those who've been in business for quite a long time. I mean, I go back, my exposure to quality systems goes back into the late 70s in manufacturing businesses before Baldrige was even Secretary of Commerce. So I was working with materials from Deming and Juran way back then. It was just really introductory when we were going through. My company was a major supplier to the auto industry. We were caught up in that quality crisis of the late 70s and early 80s when the U.S. auto industry was really playing catch up with the Japanese. And we tried just about every quality measure under the sun. So there's not much I haven't seen. And it's been an evolving field. These guys are not familiar with it. If you said the term Six Sigma to them, they've probably heard of it, but they have no idea what the system is all about. Okay. When I mention things like ISO and going backwards, not there. So we're introducing them to a lot of concepts. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. But what I really wanted everybody to understand is it's been great. The student response has been excellent. We're getting a lot of commentary that, gee, I didn't know anything about this, and I'm really happy that I do know something about this subject now. That comes almost universally. Oh, and I might mention too, if it's anything like previous classes, you'll probably have a heavy presence from our military students, and they bring an entirely different perspective. And the military, as you know, has been a leader in a lot of quality initiatives. So that's going to be an interesting one for us. So that's another one to keep in mind. But the student response has been really, really great. The one thing I always say is what I want to get from people is, gee, I never thought of it that way before. And I think that's what we've been able to achieve. So if you have any technical questions about it, how it's structured, what's set up, if you want to change something, if you want to keep something the same, if you want to add more emphasis, subtract it, let me know. I'm not teaching, so I'm kind of being the observer. I've got a lot of other things going on right now, so that's one of the reasons I'm not teaching. This is going to be about the first time in about 8 years that I haven't actually been standing in front of a classroom or sitting in front of a computer teaching a course for a term, and it's going to be a little bit of an oddball experience for me, but there's some things that just have to get done, and that's what I'm taking the summer to do. But I'm in the office every day. Okay, if I'm not in the office, I'm sitting here in front of my computer. Yeah, I'm kind of a geek about that kind of thing. So just let me know what you need. Let Judy know what you need. There's a lot of things we think we can do for you and help you out. And again, thank you very much. This is going to be a great experience, I think, for everybody. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Okay, thanks again.